Okay, so should you summon on the Xilonen and Venti banners? No, but yeah, Xilonen's pretty good. Let's talk about it. So, here we are with the banners. Obviously, I mean, Faruzan is the only, like, truly good 4-star here, and that's mainly because of Zhao, that I could say that, and then I guess if you're a Wanderer main, yeah, sure. Venti, absolute horrible character at this point. Do not get him. He's just, the amount of times this guy is useful is just far outweighed by literally anything. Like, legitimately, do not get this guy. It's not worth it. Simply, he's not worth the 90 to 180 pulls that you could spend on this guy. He's simply not worth it. Let's talk about Xilonen again, though. Xilonen, very much so worth it. It's very tough right now because we are kind of in a speculation period of, like, are they just going to keep putting out niche supports like isnt and Xilonen that just, you know, work really well with a specific set of characters? And if they do that, then Xilonen's going to start looking a lot worse because she's a generalist support. She is on a lot of best in slot teams at this point. She is very, very useful. If you're summoning for her right now and you get her right now, she is the best support in the game. However, in like 2 updates, she could be like number 3, maybe. I don't know. It would be tough to decide because at that point, we would basically be using different supports for like everything. And it's very, very hard to properly say. But Xilonen, still a very good character. I love her long duration. It's very nice for multi-wave that she's able to keep her res shred. The damage bonus stays with you. Overall, I have to say that, yes, Xilonen seems very strong. Now, for the weapon banner, I have not used Peak Patrol Song on anybody but Xilonen, but you can technically use it on anyone but Xilonen. Like, you know, 12% damage bonus, I think, is like the average that I, you know, found, from people talking online. And then Elegy at the end, it's a good support bow, but honestly, quickly looking at like support bow characters, I don't really think we have many anymore, right? Like, we have Yelan. Yelan would work as like a carrier for this. But, yeah, most of our teams nowadays are sword and claymore users, I feel like. Yeah, just in general, like, Yelan, again, can carry it. But if I'm looking at, like, a proper, oh, who's gonna carry this weapon, you know, I don't really see, like, Kuchasara can carry it for Raiden. That is a very common thing that Raiden team has, is Kuchasara carrying Elegy. Faruzan can carry Elegy for Zhao, I think. I think it'll buff him okay. I actually don't know. It's been a bit since I actually looked at Elegy's passive. It's just 20% attack. That's all that this is. It gives you 20% extra attack, and it does also give you Elemental Mastery. It's okay. I mean, if you're using a character with Elemental Mastery, but this is not a team that uses Elemental Mastery unless you have Sinnoh's weapon on Raiden. So yeah, that overall I would not say is necessarily crazy. Yeah, just overall 20% attack for Zhao again, right? No Elemental Mastery matters. Yeah. I think I've made my point very clear. You don't really use bow characters anymore. Getting Xilonen's weapon along with her is 65% damage bonus and 36% res shred, which is just really, really nice, honestly. The amount of support you would have to give to replace that is quite a lot. Ian-san has gone ahead and done that in a couple teams, but it is not very meaningful because it has to be less than like 10% because Ian-san right now is technically better than Xilonen at C6. Technically, Ian-san is better, but I mean, that is Ian-san giving 65% damage bonus and like almost 1,000 attack, I'm pretty sure, or over 1,000 attack, actually. Very hard for me to, you know, be like, oh, look, don't look at, you know, Xilonen here with her weapon. Like, Xilonen's weapon is going to be pretty good, but other than that, the 4 stars on this banner are all really good. They have the Favonius set, and then they also have Sacrificial Sword for like Xingqiu if you have them. But I don't know necessarily how much I would recommend, you know, summoning on it unless you're, you know, a person who, like, uses Hu Tao all the time and you're like, oh, I can use Elegy, right, on my Yelan. Sure. But other than that, yeah, Xilonen, I would recommend, you know, if you want her, summon for her. We do have Skirk coming up. Skirk, I believe I still have it as my, you know, thing. Yeah, we can see here. You guys can see here from left to right, we do not know what this last guy down here is, but we know we have Ian-san, we know we have Aoife, we know we have Mizuki, we know we have Marissa, and we know that is Miss Coffee Lady right there. So we are only missing Skirk and then the male to the left, basically, of Aoife, which means most likely we could be seeing, like, Skirk in 2 updates. Right, I would not be surprised if we even see Skirk and this guy, because if you notice a trend, all the characters on the right are 5 stars, and all the characters on the left so far are 4 stars. I mean, you know, not to say that the guy at the left can't be, you know, a 5 star, but, you know, Aoife seems to be a 4 star, sadly. I will be honest with that. He doesn't seem like he has a 5 star design, because, I mean, if we're looking at the 5 stars of Natlan, let's go ahead and look. Like, if we're looking at the 5 stars of Natlan, you have Mavuika, who is obviously, like, she's, you know, in her suit. She's got all this stuff. She's got crazy effects. You have Citlali and, like, her crazy, you know, gown and stuff. There's holes everywhere on her, right? And then Eon-san, you know, it's sort of the same thing. You know, honestly, Eon-san definitely could have been a 5 star. But, you know, Xilonen, again, crazy design, very wacky. And then you also have Barissa, who, I mean, look at it. Look at it. So Aoife to me seems like he's a 4 star, if we're being entirely honest. Aoife to me seems like he's a 4 star, so probably Miss Coffee Lady is going to be a 5 star, meaning, yeah, that guy there is probably going to be a 4 star. And then, you know, Skirk at the middle seems to be, well, obviously going to be a 5 star. They wouldn't make her a 4 star. So, overall, gotta say, so I wouldn't say, if you're someone who's like, oh man, I want Skirk, I would not say summon for Xilonen, sadly. Sadly. I just really, you know, if you want Skirk, I would say guarantee that character, because she's probably going to be number 2 behind Mavuika, assuming she's a DPS. If it comes out that Skirk is a support, we may have some issues, because Xilonen will also then be replaced. So either way, you probably don't want to summon for Xilonen, most likely, because if Skirk is a support, I mean, she could be very restrictive, right? She could be like, oh, you know, you have to be in freeze, right? And that she's a mega support for freeze, and right, she gives, you know, 500% damage bonus or something like that, right? Could happen. Could happen. We'll see. Because freeze, it needs a lot. I'm going to be honest, guys. If you guys think that, you know, like, some extra attack, maybe a good sub DPS, maybe, depending how good they are. It would have to be like Mavuika level sub DPS. Let's be real. It would have to be that level. Ayaka, Shenhe, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe. But I don't think so. I'm beyond. I don't think so. So I haven't talked about the 4 stars, I just realized. So let's quickly go over it. Beidou, I'll be honest. Nobody uses Beidou. Nobody. And it's for a good reason. She's outclassed. She doesn't do damage. It just, you just don't use Beidou anymore. You know, there was a time where it's like, oh, you could use Beidou for like electrocharge and stuff, but no, nowadays you could just, like, we're in the meta of like, just throw Mavuika on a team and like you're probably doing more damage, right? So Beidou, kind of useless. Yanfei, she's a DPS. She's a 4-star DPS. I think that's enough said. Like, she just isn't up to par with other characters, and she's also Pyro. So like the 900th Pyro DPS. There you go. And I've already talked about Faruzan, how her crit damage is good for, you know, Xiao and then Wanderer, but other than that, not really anyone else. Unless you're crazy and you play Chaska like that, which is, seek help. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.